Okay, Gunk. This is a Gunk series. It's the 42nd anniversary right now of man first landing on the moon, by the way. It's July 20th. Actually, it might be the 41st, not 42nd. The reason I remember is my sister was born in 68, which is 42 years ago, on July 19th, and man was on the moon when she was a year and a day. That's how I just, remember that one. Anyhow, I want to talk about transportation right now. The car I have. I want to talk about some other circumstances. I ought to whiz through this, and I have a beer there. I'm probably not going to touch it. I just got a sip, Woke up this morning, got myself a beer kind of thing, right? So I have this car that's been in my name now for a little more than a year. I mentioned another piece. I'd only had American cars. My dad's a union electrician, and pretty much said he wasn't going to support me through college if I bought a foreign car ever. And eventually, I guess Toyotas are made in America now. That's a Toyota there. It's the first foreign brand I've ever had. And I had a call a couple days ago. Finally talked to him yesterday, but for the next remade in Hollywood. And me and my dad got in this argument the day I found out that I have enough credits to graduate from Pitzer College in Claremont. And the same emotions surfaced as last time around when I was supposed to graduate in '98. It's my last semester there. He had been telling me that, hey, we're gonna try to help pay off your credit cards and shit. He had bad credit that developed in his life. It sounded okay, except for there were strings attached always. And when you graduate, you're gonna help build a house over here. This is 1.5 acres. Checked the value on Zillow, and it's a real estate program. It's a $438,000, and this was supposed to be my inheritance, which was no big deal. My dad used to go ahead. I used to live in San Bernardino with my mom. They were separated when I was like 5 or something. We used to take our teeter-totters from San Bernardino and bring them over here because I guess he paid for them, and never played. They weren't set up over here. And every 4 or 5 years, there's some psychotic happens. And the words, the rhetoric, always seems to be supportive. Told me my whole life, hey, go to college, get an education. And he had taken some classes at Chafee, but he never graduated. And what I come to find, or what I believe, is I swear to God, I think he gets jealous. Because he'll start harking. As soon as I get close to my goals, and he attacked me in the autumn semester. I had a trailer that wasn't this one, but it was a little more down, and he had a smaller one. They were both 40-foot trailers. He had invested in a pizza store it got foreclosed on, and that was foreclosed on in '95. I was going to graduate in '98. Lived someplace for a year, and then came and lived here for a couple of years. But he started nagging, and that's one thing he tried to teach me. He said, your mom always nags, when she was alive and everything, and she's negative and this shit, and there's low lives in this world, and they can't rise your level, so they only cut you down. And we went and celebrated on the day I found out that I had enough credits to graduate. And on the way home from his cousin's house, he starts harking on the worst aspects, the worst 1% of that period of, when I was trying to, graduate from Claremont colleges and, whatever gone wrong. He still hasn't apologized for attacking me while playing guitar and shit. Without warning, he did that. And in 5 minutes, I want to, it's like a confession. The first phase usually you put on your best face when you try to get to know someone, and I'm trying to get to know people out there in the YouTube land, right? I have a few music sites, and everything's cordial. Don't pay attention to my baggage or whatever. But eventually, hey man, shit like this has happened, and I want to post Psycho Dad, the song Psycho Dad, the Married and Children song, because that seems to fit my life at this point. Or the Everclear song about father of mine, blah blah blah. Except I don't need to dignify people I'm disputing with. So my ex-roommate called me, right, and I'm trying to wrap this up. And he said he talked to my dad. It was my sister's birthday, like I said, and that's how I know my ex-roommate. And I think he is trying to puppeteer. And he's trying to, if I'm not going to be staying over here on land that we've had in the family since I was a toddler, which I don't want to be here anyway once I graduate, then someplace where he could try to give the guy rules to give to me or whatever. And I think my dad's a psychotic right now, man. And, it happens in little spurts, and, I'm just trying to vent during this Gunk series and try to sort some of this out. So I want to get a room maybe around one of the colleges, Cal State San Bernardino, Claremont colleges. Doesn't matter a whole lot. I don't mind working 2 jobs right now. Something solid and maybe a moonlighting job. And he'd already threatened, on the way home, on the day of the celebration. Well, you could graduate, but you're not going to have your inheritance. Hey man, I'd rather have my pride than my inheritance. And he said, the car's coming back to me. Well, you gotta sue me on that, because it's in my name and all. But, I'd like to move out of the area and, be surrounded by people that are a little more supportive. I have 3 minutes to explain. Okay, so anyway, what happened? I mentioned in another piece, been to jail trying to get my truck out of impound. Different piece, one of my advisors took the stand against me in the autumn of 2000. So I've been in jail twice. 3 times if you count that I violated probation, second time around. Both times tried for a felony, but I've never been found guilty of anything. It's called no contest. Reduced plea to a misdemeanor, okay? I don't have any felonies. I was watching a news program. Even if they try you as a felon, it shows up on your record, which is unfortunate. There's a mistaken identity case, and some guy always has to bring extra paperwork to his job interviews to show, hey man, I'm not a felon, never been convicted of a felony or whatever. And these things are unfortunate, and partly economic in nature, and partly when the people come overly obsessive, I think. And my dad trying to control me like a child or a pet or a toy or something. But so insult to injury, the guy attacks me and I kick his, I beat him up actually into fence in the autumn of '98. And I was only supposed to be here a couple years. And I start to sense he's trying to keep me like a toy. And later on, a couple years later, we talked about it. He says, "You're trying to leave the nest." And insult to injury. About a month later, okay, we got in a fight, and I wound up going to this trailer, and I ripped up all my essays I ever gave to him. I used to make copies, and I fucking smashed a couple of mirrors and windows and shit, which is not good, but it's a distress call. It's kind of like a cry out, somebody get me the fuck out of here. I think he's trying to keep me, and I think he's trying to do it this time too. And in retrospect, that's not the best thing. That blew over, and then like a couple of weeks later, in January of '99, right after New Year's, he said he got on the phone and called, his side of the family, and they said to put me in mental health, and I was only in there for 3 days, 72-hour hold. He stole my keys, went to my mailbox, used some stuff in my mail against me, stuff that was written. I thought I was possibly being tracked by the FBI for being involved in anti-nuclear stuff from Pinter College and union organization, the AFL-CIO, whatever. Which, hey man, that happened. And over the course of these gunks, I might mention maybe one or two other things that have happened in life, but that's the worst of it. You know, and I gotta go. I'm out of time. Party on.